Aloha, hi, welcome to The Economy and You. My name is Chris Lethem. We do a show here every week to talk about interesting people and interesting ideas that are going on in our community. Everything from political to technology-based ideas. And today's guest is Lina, and give us your last name, Lina?
Lina Smith.
Lina Smith. Lina Smith, you are from a company that is doing something rather innovative that has, it's a little bit controversial.
Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a business opportunity, but at the same time, there's value to customers. But I think it's sort of like, the way I thought of it was sort of like fish tacos. There's something kind of about it that I have to get used to.
Fish tacos. Well, I like that analogy. I'm a fan of fish tacos personally.
Are you? Okay.
Sure.
Well, tell us a little bit about your idea, what the name of your organization is.
Sure. The company name is Blue Spot Park. And Blue Spot is a premium parking app. So primarily we have an app that you download on your smartphone, either an iPhone or an Android. And the exciting part is that you can reserve the best parking spots with that app. The best parking spots where before you had to be lucky, or you had to wait forever, or you had to have someone stand there and just wait for you to get there, you know, to get that best spot.
Defend that parking
whatever
space.
it took.
Yes. You know, you get somebody out of your car to defend the parking space while you can come around and get to it before somebody else does.
We've tried that in Manhattan. Trust me, it's challenging to do that. It's been tried.
Yes, I'm sure it has. Now, how did this sort of app, now we had a function last night, which was, what was from, that was a competition of different startups.
Yes. So we were competing in the mobile challenge Asia Pacific event, in part sponsored by Blue Startups and Sultan Ventures and a few other sponsors. Put that on as actually was a double competition. Innovate Her had a number of companies competing, and then the MCAP contestants had 7 companies competing.
And these are companies had various ideas that they were presenting to get funded so that they could develop their ideas further.
Exactly, startup companies.
Startup companies.
And the competition is to represent Hawaii at an international event called East Meets West Conference.
Exciting, sounds exciting.
It will be very exciting. It's on January 14 and 15, and it will attract a lot of investors and other business interests to Hawaii.
So all you investors out there, bring your checkbook. Yes, so bring your checkbook and then show up, and then they'll be ready to write some checks.
Please, a checkbook and a pen. Or we'll bring the pen. You just bring the checkbook. We'll have the pens.
Very good. Okay, so now this, how did you get started? How did this who was the brainchild behind this?
So parking has been an interest and a concern of mine since high school. And I went to high school in New York City. I always would walk past these empty spots and school zones and this and that, and always no parking this and no parking because of that. And I would see my dad, you know, full-time working and also full-time looking for parking. I mean, often it's unless one is paying a lot of money for a garage spot in in a luxury building in Manhattan, you are basically hunting. You're out there hunting for a spot, and it could take anywhere from just a couple of minutes if you're very lucky, or if you have a particular angel who's helping you, to hours of just circling around the block or sitting in one spot and waiting, say for street cleaning or something else to finish so that you can grab, or just sitting in the car waiting until you're allowed to park.
Wow. So now, was this your idea? Do you have partners with this project? Who makes up this group, this startup?
So the motivation to do something about it was mine, and I recruited a technology co-founder, Daniel Lund, who is a fantastic app developer and database developer with multiple degrees from Hawaii Pacific University, and he got excited about the idea. So once we had the non-technical co-founder, me, and the technical app developer, we had a team. We then recruited a third member of the team, which is Ernest Shi. Ernest is an accomplished businessman. He has founded and exited multiple multinational companies, including one here in Hawaii called Environmental Science International, that he sold back in April or May, and it was the right time and the right person, and he just got excited about helping us to solve the problem. So that is the core team. And then we have 2 other team members. And as a group, once we were together and we're thinking about how best to solve it, the premium model developed.
Okay, excellent. So now you have, but you have to have a phone app. Like, not everybody has a smartphone. Believe it or not, there are still people running around out there with flip phones.
I don't believe that. No, I know. We know that we would be excluding. We don't have, for example, you cannot call in, or you cannot. It's not a meter that's incorporated. It really is a smartphone app.
Okay. Will there be like an iPad app or a website where people can use this technology as well?
We'll see if there is a demand, if it doesn't detract from our core smartphone app model. We would love to accommodate everyone who would like a premium parking spot. So of course we'll do our best.
Okay, sounds like a plan. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about your core business model. Okay, it's called Blue Spot Park,
sure.
Or Blue Spot. So kind of give us a visual of how this works.
A visual of how this works, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to the ladies in the audience. I'll use the example of Sephora.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Well, I like Sephora. They've got
great.
some great men's cologne there as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's right. For example, if you're going to Sephora and you'd like to park in front of it, of course we're talking specifically here about, say, for example, the Aloha Mall, or if you'd like to be in front of Aloha Salads at Pearl Ridge Mall. So at the entrance, right in the front row, say there's a reason why you'd like to be there. Is either it's a weekend and you know it's going to be crazy, or you're taking your aunt shopping and you'd like to treat her nicely and park right in front of Sephora,
right,
or Aloha Salads, or Bed Bath & Beyond. Or you have
right now there's a lot of handicap parking spaces in that area.
That's correct.
Don't you just hate that when handicapped people get all the best parking spaces?
Chris, no.
So anyway, now you have these other spots that you're creating, right?
Exactly, and typically they are adjacent. They could be adjacent to the handicap because they're in the same premium location.
Right.
They say at the entrance. And there could be a situation that someone who's not does not have a handicap sticker, but would have a physical challenge walking from far away, or someone with a lady, her husband, for example, is deployed and she has 4 kids and she has to run a quick errand. We're also thinking of kind of the quick in and out. So someone who's not going to the mall for the whole day, but just needs to grab a last minute present.
Okay.
And so, for example, back to the Sephora example, so you download the app, and you say, okay, I'm going to Sephora. Are there any spots? Are there blue spots? Let's say there is. So you say, okay, I'll be there in an hour, and I'll only stay for half an hour. So you reserve and you prepay. We have your payment information in the app.
Okay, so you're paying for the spot.
You are reserving. To reserve the spot, you do need to pay for the time.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And we would have that in-app seamless payment. There's no coins. There's no cards. There's.
You know what I like about this already?
What?
Is that if I go with my girlfriend to park, I don't have to bug her to hurry up. She'll already have an incentive to get in and get out, and I won't have to sit there and wait for her.
Well,
I like
you're saying
that.
it's gonna incentivize her to get out of the mall faster?
Yes.
Well, we will give her the option to extend, Chris. We're gonna give her plenty of options to extend.
Don't tell her that. Okay, so now I reserve the spot, okay, and I don't have to reserve it for right now. I can reserve it for later in the day.
Anytime you'd like, anytime that it's available, and you see right away in the app if it's available.
Okay, but I can only maybe book 24 hours in advance, not much.
And anytime you'd like in advance.
Really?
That's just a function of our calendaring, and we have indefinite availability in advance.
Oh, okay, all right, very good. Okay, well, that's great. So now what? So I reserved my spot and I paid my money.
You pay your money, assuming you're saying, say, 45 minutes.
Okay.
So it's easy button. Just select 45-minute button. We have the preset easy time selection. You automatically authorize the payment. you go, you park in your spot, and then the excitement begins, because then the app provides you with deals and opportunities and events that are happening at that venue. And one of the opportunities is to get your money refunded, your parking refunded, and that will be with our sponsoring merchant. So a sponsoring merchant, back to Sephora.
So back to Sephora.
They have a featured perfume, or they have a featured hair product, or just an amount that they set that they tell us. So let's assume it's Dior perfume, and their Sephora lipstick. So you go in, you assuming you want that product, or you satisfy the criteria, they validate and you get refunded your money, and the store pays Blue Spot for your parking.
So you get paid by the merchant.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, and so that's how you have figured out a way to monetize this.
That is one way to monetize it. So the spot rental fee is our first revenue model. So that is paid either by the driver, let's assume price insensitive driver, business traveler at an airport, so they will pay. They won't be seeking validation. Or someone could go on the assumption or on the knowledge that the parking will be free. That's number one. So we get paid the spot rental fee. Second business model, or the second component of this business model, are advertising kiosks. These are ad kiosks that are at these premium spots, because now these spots are identified as a premium, unique, desirable asset, and there are people who are driving just to park in that spot, and so we are putting up solar-powered advertising kiosks at that spot.
So when I go to Sephora and I want to buy my new bottle of Old Spice aftershave lotion, because gosh knows I love Old Spice.
It's great. It's great. It's great. I hope Sephora carries it.
So when they put that out there and I buy my Old Spice, then I get they'll go ahead and cover me, and
exactly. So you show they have the merchant level app in the store that we built for them. They say, oh, you're parked in a Blue Spot. Welcome. Thank you so much for parking in a premium spot outside of Sephora. Let us validate your license information, and you get your money back from Blue Spot.
Okay, and then you could even put like the cubic grid on the spot, so as people walk by, they could scan it and automatically get the app for their phone.
We do have on our signs, we have the QR codes.
Oh, the QR code.
The QR codes, yes,
QR code.
That's okay. But we did find out that our reflective coating of those signs prevents the reading of the.
Oh no!
So it's okay. We're testing. We now have a one spot at Murphy's Lot that we have a private beta test, so we're learning about things like the QR code not being readable. So, so hopefully in time for our launch at Pearl Ridge Center on January 23rd, things will be all set to go, and we'll be all set.
Okay, all right. Now, I got to tell you, there are some naysayers, right? You've heard some naysayers on this idea.
Yes, we have.
and because a lot of people are going, wow, I'm paying for something that I get for free now, but I have to drive around. Well, we know at Aloha, Aloha has just completely reconfigured their mall.
That's right.
Pearl Ridge, I don't know. I don't really go to Pearl Ridge very often, but I would imagine that, you've got a lot of spaces available, but then those premium spaces where you're either out of the rain or you're right where you want to go shopping, now I'm having to pay for those. I can't just get lucky anymore.
That's correct. Well, we're not taking over all of the premium spots. We are, because there are probably a few dozen of spots that are very desirable. They're great. We're launching with only 4 or 5 spots.
Okay.
So we'll be really, it's a discrete number of spots. We're not taking all the best spots. So luck will still be a factor if that's your thing, Chris. Yeah.
Well, it's because there was the whole issue in San Francisco, and I want to talk about that. We're going to go to commercial break, and I want to talk about this app that they had in San Francisco that got everybody so upset.
And in other places too.
I'm Chris Lethem. This is The Economy and You, and we'll be right back. Aloha.
Aloha, this is Alice V. Hagen from ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. My show is a bi-weekly show on Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. We invite interesting people, entrepreneurs, fascinating leaders who contribute to the social economic well-being of our state. Please tune in to my show, Business Education Spotlight, ThinkTech Hawaii, bi-weekly, Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. Aloha.
Aloha, this is Reg Baker and I am the host of Business in Hawaii. We talk about positive stories of businesses in Hawaii, how they have been successful and how they have overcome some of the obstacles that a lot of us encounter when we try to have a business here. And believe it or not, there are a number of positive stories here and we want to talk to all of you. So we broadcast live every Thursday at 2 o'clock. And it rebroadcasts again on Olelo Channel 54. So I sure hope to see you next time. Please tune in on Thursdays at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Hi, we're back. I'm Chris Lethem. This is The Economy and You, and today we're talking to Lina Smith, and we're talking with her about her new app called Blue Spot Park. Blue Spot Park, and we're going to talk about San Francisco, because in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, they had developed a parking app to identify available parking spaces. Now, at some point, people started to get very upset because if you were just driving around trying to find a parking space, you were immediately disadvantaged because somebody else had an app and they knew where the empty spots were. And that gave those people an advantage over the people who were just driving around. This started to get people upset. Now, this app is not like those apps, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is very controversial, and of course, technology tends to be changing things quite a bit. With Uber and Lyft and companies like this, taxi drivers are getting upset, and now you have an app. And then my question is, okay, so this is version 1, okay? Now, what about version 2? In version 2, are you going to be taking public parking spaces as well, or is that part of the plan, or is it just to do it in shopping malls?
Great question. So I believe one of the problems with some of the apps that were taking street parking was that they would then sell it to the highest bidder. And maybe we're talking about different apps here.
Oh, no, maybe that's what it was.
So these, I believe in Baltimore, they immediately, the legislature put an end to that. And I believe in Boston as well as San Francisco. So there were these apps that tried to monetize public spaces without really benefiting the taxpayer, as far as we know. And so, but on the other hand, there are, of course, some spots are better than others. And this is true at all locations. Regardless of whether it's a busy location or whether it's a crowded or whether there's a shortage of parking. At airports, some of the spots are best. At hospitals, some of the spots are right at the entrance, at the elevator, et cetera. We talked about the malls.
And those handicap spots are always the best spots too,
You really, you have an issue with handicap. We don't have an issue with handicap. But
I'm just,
of course.
But it's always interesting because, it's, there's, one guy said there's a time and a place for everything, but clearly he didn't have a car, he didn't have to park, and again, it sounds like to me though, what you're also doing is facilitating movement out of those parking spaces, because if somebody parks in that spot and they stay there all day long, they have usurped that spot for everybody else.
That's right.
And so also, what I can see is the positive side of this is those best spots, there's more turnover.
We definitely count on there being a lot of turnover and quick errand running customers who just need to go in and out, pick up a package, pick up grandma at the airport, drop off someone in a hospital and they'd like to walk in with them, things like that. So we have 15-minute increments that you can reserve. That's a very small increment, very inexpensively in and out, but you can save time, you can save frustration, stress, thinking about it, worrying about it. and gas, quite frankly, or just the time that it takes. And as you know, some people, you're at Costco and someone is loading or someone is waiting for that spot that's about to get empty, and the traffic does back up. It really creates an inefficiency and a lot of costs.
Yeah, well, in Hawaii, it is more challenging than most places, because one of the things that I notice is I spend some time on the mainland. Every few months I go to the mainland, and when I'm there, I notice that the amount of space allocated for parking is much greater. The individual parking spots are bigger. The space between where the rows are is bigger, so it's easier to get in and out. Hawaii being what it is, and space being such a premium, everything is condensed. And also, of course, now, what I see here is an advantage for the merchant. From a merchant's perspective, if people know that they can get a place to park, they're more apt to go shop there. They're more apt to go in and get what they need.
Absolutely, and that's
and
worth
if they know it's free, okay, it's free, but I just have to reserve it, then I'm in, I'm out. Much nicer for me.
Exactly, in and out, and you don't have to worry about it in advance. And we find that a lot of people simply avoid their favorite venue, a favorite restaurant, a favorite mall. They simply don't go because they don't want to worry about the parking. They know it's going to be difficult. And a lot of those who go, they hope they'll find parking. I'll get lucky. And then they spend a long time getting frustrated, angry, kids screaming in the back.
You see the people banging on the hood
your
of their
husband
car.
saying, your husband saying, I told you this is a bad time to go. And someone needs to use the restroom, or someone is just in front of you blocking the whole, you can't even look for parking because someone is waiting for that spot on the side and sitting there with their blinker on. So this
and
is
they haven't
a lot of an
pulled over so cars can get by. You're just stuck. You're stuck there.
You're stuck there. And in places like Hawaii, like the Bay Area, New York City area, this is a real problem for people. This wastes a lot of their hours, a lot of their energy, things that really opportunity
Well, I can
costs.
see this in places like Singapore and Tokyo and other places.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is a solution to a real problem. And from the point of view of malls and shops, they get happier, stress-free clients who don't feel like running
Now,
to the
have you-
management office and
I'm
complaining.
sorry, you mean there are people that come into your shop that are upset? Say it isn't so.
After parking for a while, some people just drive away. Period. They just don't even go. They get there, they can't find parking, and they leave.
They've just lost their sense of humor and they're ready to go.
And then next time they just won't even go to that mall.
Interesting. So now that you've developed this, now you've developed it, like you said, you've developed it for the iPhone and for the Android. What is your vision? Where do you go from here? Like you said, you're starting with Pearl Ridge.
Yes, we're very lucky. We're launching at Pearl Ridge Center on January 23rd. We have a partnership with Pearl Ridge. We're launching during their another major event, called Fit and Fabulous, and so it will bring a lot of traffic to the mall, and we'll be having promotional giveaways and a tent, and us introducing and demonstrating the app, and so we hope to generate a lot of excitement and adoption and downloads.
Okay, so what is your marketing approach to this as now that you're sort of developing this app? So you're leading the marketing charge?
Well, the team is.
We
have a chief branding officer who is working with our branding and our marketing and PR. But being a startup, we all wear a lot of hats.
Right. So now, how far are you along with developing your kiosk?
We are about to order. I think we finalized on the solar power kiosk that we'll be using, and so we'll be. I believe we will only try one kiosk for the launch instead of 5. We want to see what kind of demand for ads we have.
Now, will the kiosk also, will I like if I don't have a smartphone, will I be able to drive up and reserve, like if I pull into the blue spot, go ahead and reserve time? No, I can't because I don't have a way to, you don't have a way to pay.
Well, the thing is that with time, we would love to have digital kiosks that do a lot of stuff, that communicate with the driver. Maybe you'll be able to punch in your license plate, and that has a lot of potential for it. Can even say, "Welcome, Chris. Your, Old Spice.
I'm
come
sneaking
by
in,
your
I'm
old."
sneaking in, and you're broadcasting my name. I'm trying to
What would
sneak in and out.
You can say the
Oh, no.
Old Spice. The fan of Old Spice. Welcome. Is that, so whatever you'd like. But that's just a potential. Maybe a Louis Vuitton would like to welcome a customer with a personalized ad. And so digital kiosks allow a lot of opportunity, but we're not starting with digital. We're starting with simple backlit static kiosks.
Okay.
So which will not enable, but with time, I think that's a good idea that you had, that someone can just walk in, punch in, or check in with their phone with this interactive kiosk.
Well, if you had like an app, like an app on your phone, like some sort of a general app for making payments, like PayPal or something, and then if you have the ability to just put in your PayPal ID information, username and password, and it can immediately take payment on the spot.
Sure, or maybe
account.
you could create an account beforehand on a browser at home on a desktop, and then you just check in, and it already Blue Spot has your payment. So you're not there.
That's another way. I guess my thought was if I had never seen it before, and I had just for the first time driven up, and I'm going, oh, what is this big blue spot here in the middle of the thing, and then there's this kiosk thing here, and I'm like, well, what is this thing? And I drove up, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. I'd like to have the spot. What do I need to do?
Sure.
And if I were able to do everything right there, or if I've got my phone and I can at least use a QR code and read and download the app while I'm there, I can go ahead and enter the information and park.
Absolutely. We're counting on a lot of people doing exactly what you just said, which is driving by. That's part of our marketing. Back to your question. Part of the marketing is to have unique, visible, exciting, well-branded spots that people drive by and say, I want to be there. How do I get that? And assuming, whether or not it's empty, how does that guy park there? That's a different spot. How do I get it? And then you would be able to download it right away. There's obviously you can, and book now. There's a book now button.
Oh, okay.
So you can, if it's available, you can book immediately. So part of marketing is that just whoever's driving by.
Okay, so I drive up. I don't have a smartphone, but that blue spot's sitting there empty. It's looking real juicy.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
Real juicy blue spot there.
I can see where this is going.
And I'm like, I gotta get in and get out. I'm looking around, there's nobody around. I park into the blue spot, I run in. So what happens? There's a blue spot police somewhere.
Blue spot police. Well, we're not at that level yet.
Okay.
We're not at the level of creating of.
So do you start off with saying nice things to them, like you aren't authorized to park here, or do you immediately pull a mean and nasty and tow me away?
So of course, one of us will come and tap you on the shoulder. I'm just kidding. Of course, we won't be there, but. So most likely, there's a couple of, this is an issue of enforcement.
Yes.
And that's a great question, because the last thing we'd like to do, and we're taking it very seriously, is for someone a paying customer, not you in this situation, but the other guy who actually has reserved that spot and is on her way, protecting that premium customer. So if you're parked there, we have an in-app notification that driver will snap a picture of your license plate and will let us know. Next, it depends on the relationship with the venue. So if with the venue level enforcement. So someone is already enforcing for example, the handicap spots, or is just driving around maintaining order and policing the area. And so they will have the venue level app. They will be able to see who should be parked there. So part of the enforcement is venue level enforcement.
Okay.
Part of the enforcement is we will know about it, and we will redirect the premium customer to another spot. We will credit, and ultimately we will tow you.
You will tow me.
Ultimately,
ultimately you're going to tow me.
We have to protect the premium customers who are paying and who are in this.
Because goodwill, you lose a little goodwill with that guy that parked there who was thinking about using your app. Now he abused it, he didn't use it.
Well,
Right.
goodwill with whom? who with you? Who
Well,
next?
that's right. Well,
so
could
now
be-
you're just trying it for free. You know, maybe we'll just give you a free trial at first. How about that? Let's
Okay.
compromise.
Let's talk about that.
Let's compromise.
We're going to go to commercial. We'll talk about that when we get back. Hi, I'm Chris Lethem. This is The Economy and You, and we'll be back in just 1 minute. So stay tuned for more. Aloha.
Okay, this is ThinkTech Hawaii, and it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday is Energy Wednesday here in Hawaii, the state of clean energy, 4 to 5 p.m. every Wednesday. Come and listen to us. And just to show you what I mean, I'm going to ask Sharon to tell us more.
Come and see us every Wednesday, as Jay said. And we have people like Jim Albers from HECO here and co-host Ray Starling here every Wednesday. We not only go on Olelo and OC16, but also stream live. So please come visit us, hear about the latest in clean energy.
Okay, Jim, you've been here. You got any comment on all this?
As important as energy is in all of our lives today, this is a great forum and a great format to vet those issues. So I encourage everybody to listen in and participate.
Okay, Ray, what do you think for a close?
Well, I think this is the greatest show in the energy world here in Hawaii. You can come here every week, 1 hour, and catch the latest on what's happening and hear from the people who really know what's going on, like Jim Alberts. We appreciate your coming today.
Thank you.
Ray Starling, Sharon Moriwaki, Jim Alberts, and Jay Fidel here in Hawaii, the state of clean energy, 4 to 5
Aloha.
p.m. Wednesday. Aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome back to The Economy and You. I'm Chris Lethem. Today's guest is Lina Smith, and we are talking about Blue Spot Park. I almost think of C Spot Run kind of thing when I say Blue Spot Park. You know, it's like that.
See Spot Park.
Yeah,
See Spot Park.
So we were talking about the enforcement issue. Okay, so the evildoer comes in and takes your parking spot. They're unauthorized, and maybe they're sort of like I was thinking maybe you have to. What you do is you maybe have an immediate grace period of 10 or 15 minutes with a nastygram, or you put a little note on the windshield. You're an unauthorized patron. If you'd like to sign up, this is what you need to do.
You're already planning to.
I got this figured.
You're
I'm
already
trying to figure
planning
this out.
how to get away with parking in one of our spots without reserving, aren't you?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how you get customers. You turn a violator into a client.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that thought process.
Yeah, so maybe that was my thought process.
Sure.
If you tow the car away, you're not likely to ever get them as a customer.
Well, I don't agree with you there.
Okay, well, there you go.
Then
All right.
when you if you get towed, Blue Spot enforces their spots. So you are not worried that when you go, there's another Chris who's in your spot.
You're like, oh yeah, okay, that was a
You
painful
know what I
lesson.
mean?
Yeah, that was painful. That was a $300 lesson. Okay, all right.
It's not possible to make everyone happy. Our priority will be the premium paying customer who reserved and used the app and is going by following the rules. And is perhaps even is in a time-sensitive situation. Let's assume the worst-case scenario: someone is going to the airport and is in a time crunch. So we need to do the risk management of that
Yes.
person missing a flight, or
Yes.
so we really need to take the enforcement very seriously. At the same time, we are advised not to worry about it too much until we test. We go ahead and test because. For example, some other companies in the space don't experience Volta charging. I'm thinking,
Right.
Do not experience a lot of violators of their identified
Right,
and
and
designated and unique spots.
You bring up a good point because a lot of people know that that's for an electric vehicle, so they just naturally don't park there.
Well, we're hoping people will know this is for app reservation premium clients who will, and this is not a function of someone who can pay because we're offering validation. So it's
Right.
really someone who just used the app and reserved it legitimately. And so we're hoping to create a brand and brand recognition that there's a knowledge as well that these spots are, you just have to use an app. And our signage says reserve via app.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And I think the time will tell what you experience, right, with this application. But that just seemed like an interesting aspect to this because if you turn a violator into a client, one, you tow less cars and get less nastygrams, and two, you're going to get more clients. But it would now what happens when you sort of hit critical mass? There's got to be a point where you hit a saturation level where, okay, I'm saturated this area. I can't take any more people in because my spots are full all the time.
We would love to be in that position. Needless to say, that would be terrific and wonderful. And I imagine, the usual supply and demand. If there's more demand than supply, we'll just increase the supply. Or
increase the supply?
We don't want to raise, if ultimately we can, of course, raise the price. And
Now,
ultimately we can even auction. We can have an auctioning mechanism, but we can, of course, the concept of a premium is a very flexible concept. It can really expand from 4 spots to 40 spots or 100 spots. And if people are loving it and it's so easy and stress-free and also you don't have to pay for the spot, you get validated that you were going to shop anyway, and now you're parking right in front of the door. You didn't have to worry about it. You didn't have to circle round and round. So if people are loving it, that just means maybe we should have more.
Well, so now what I want with your app is not only do I want to be able to park without having to wait, when I get out of my car and I walk into the restaurant, I want to go to the front of the line.
Interesting. Well, I saw something like that on Shark Tank where you could reserve bar stools, I think. So there may be, I don't think we'll be pivoting into that market.
Well, I like that. You go right from your parking to your bar stool.
So you want it to be even more controversial. Not only do we take the best spots, we also get the best tables.
That's right.
That's right.
That would work out wonderfully, Now, the thing is that now you've started this. Now, how do you sort of envisage this expanding? I mean, you're starting here. Do you already have a plan for expanding locally and then maybe to other places on the mainland?
Absolutely. So we're part of Blue Startups, which is a fantastic accelerator, one of the top 20 accelerators in the U.S. And they are mentoring and nurturing and helping us structure our plans, as well as help us with funding. And the marketing plan is we're launching first at Pearl Ridge Center.
Okay.
And then we're also speaking to a couple of hotels and the airport and Aloha Stadium. And so we'll expand in Hawaii from there. We have a venue that we're very close to getting a deal with on the mainland. And we'll be focusing, of course, our mainland expansion on the busy, the coasts, New York City and Bay Area,
the big cities,
just to expand there. And we also are planning to market and leverage our growth through national partners of for example, Pearl Ridge Center will champion us through the parent company.
The parent company has malls everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we have a few strategies for growing.
So how do I download the app?
Well, you would need, at this point, because we're in beta, you would need a link from us. You would need a link to test it.
How do I get the link?
We can send it to you. Or
so who do I need to ask? Whose arm do I need to twist? Or
no
knees
arms,
do I need to break?
No violence required. We'll give you the app. It's free. We're happy to have you tested. You can even test it right here at Murphy's Lot, which is just a couple of blocks away. So you can park there. You'll see how it works. We'd love your feedback.
So
and you would be part of our private.
Is there a website I can download the link from?
Yes. Well, we would have to send you, because this is a private beta, so we are not in the app stores yet. Let me explain that. So we have not submitted this app. It's still in development. In a couple of weeks, actually, very very soon this month, we will be submitting it to both the Apple Store and the Google Play stores. And then it will be, once approved, fingers crossed, it will be available as all other apps.
And how would I find it on there? Just type Blue Park or Blue Spot Park? I assume that's how one finds any app. You just, or if it will be under parking categories or utilities, or so. So it'll be categorized. There's some sort of category there.
We're hoping that you'll find it by first hear about it from a friend who had a great experience, who told you about it on Facebook or in person and bragged about it and said, I parked like a rock star.
So now are you going to put this out on Facebook? Are we going to see little ads on Facebook with the QR code so we can just...
We're definitely thinking of social media campaign, absolutely. And this would be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all targeting ads. But we're hoping that our customers, our clients will generate the primary word of mouth, because that's the best way. If you hear from your friend, an influencer, or a blogger in your network that this is really fantastic, you'll want to try it. So we're really hoping to execute at the level where the word will just get out on its own. But we will, of course, use traditional marketing, press releases, radio, et cetera, and as well as national and global marketing channels of our partners.
And we'll put you on TV.
Thank you. Please, that would be so great. I would really enjoy that. Please do.
Okay. Well, this is really great. Now, tell us a little bit about what kind of investors you're looking for, and how is that going for you so far?
So we are looking for investors right now. We are looking for what is considered a seed level investor.
Okay.
So this is, we did our family and friend fundraising,
and you bled them dry. They're
we
done.
closed them,
Yes.
and they're very excited. All our extended family and friends are very excited. They're part of this of this idea and concept, and they're rooting for us and supporting us, and we're very grateful for that. So right now we're raising seed. We're pre-angel, so the angel round will come later. That's a larger amount. Right now we're just looking for, we're in the kind of a bridge situation between the initial financing and Blue Startups, and the state of Hawaii helped us, through Blue Startups. So we're very, very grateful, and that's why we're operating and running, and that's why I'm here. And going forward, we are looking for investors early. These would be early investors who have experience with technology companies, so they know what to look for. They know what kind of risk they're taking, and they're just as excited about the idea as we are.
So is this going to be a high risk, high return opportunity?
High return for sure.
Okay. And how much capital are you looking for? Ideally, what would you be looking for?
So as of today, and we're looking for $120,000, which is just to carry us. This is a bridge to the angel round, so we're best positioned and ready for the angel investors that are the more sophisticated and larger amount that they will be committing.
Okay. Now, of course, so once you sort of have this bridge financing out of the way, then, and how long do you expect this to work for you, and when will you need to go for the next round of funding?
$120,000 will basically will be okay for a few months. Will be okay for a few months, and then depending on the product, when the product market fit is optimized, we'll begin to scale. Now, at the time that we're ready to scale, that's when we need angel financing.
Now, will that sort of $120,000, is that something that would get repaid in a rather short, was that something you would be repaying? Is that how you would see that? You would repay them with a return on their investment from once you get additional funds, or would they simply just carry over as you grow, or is it a mixture of the both?
It's actually it's a kind of a carrying over, to use your terms. It's actually an equity investment. We're not looking for a debt investment that's a loan. We're looking for a very standard investment called the SAFE, which is the Simple Agreement for Future Equity. So it's an agreement that converts into equity at the angel round.
Okay, sounds awesome. Thank you so much, Lina.
Thank you.
Any suggestions or where people can find you later on, other than the App Store, or if they wanted to contact you or give you a call or send you an email?
Sure. It's our email is our first name @bluespotpark.com. So I'm Lina, Daniel's the CTO, Ernest the CFO. So Lina or Daniel or Ernest would be delighted to hear from you guys. And,
awesome.
And whoever wants to try, we'll send you a link.
Okay, sounds great. I'm Chris Lethem, and this is The Economy and You. Today's guest, Lina, thank you so much for being on ThinkTech Hawaii.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Chris.
And we look forward to seeing you all next week right here.